A post appeared on r/AskCarSales 2 months ago that got pinned by the moderators because the comments would not stop coming. A guy named Kevin wrote, "I've owned my 2021 F-150 for 3 years. My neighbor, who used to work at Ford, came over last weekend and showed me 4 things my truck can do that I had absolutely no idea about. Things that are in the software right now, already paid for, already installed, just sitting there locked behind menus that Ford never told me existed. What else am I missing?" The post got 2,400 comments in 72 hours, and the answer to Kevin's question is a lot. A lot more than Ford wants you to know about. Today, we are going through the hidden features, the buried menus, the software-locked capabilities, and the factory functions that are already inside your vehicle right now. Functions you already paid for when you bought the truck that your manufacturer, your dealership, and your owner's manual have gone out of their way to make sure you never find. We are going to cover domestic trucks, imports, and a few that apply across almost every modern vehicle regardless of brand. Take notes because some of these will change the way you use your vehicle every single day. The battery drain test. Your dealer will charge you $150 to run every modern vehicle with an OBD2 port, meaning every vehicle built after 1996 has a built-in battery and charging system diagnostic that you can run yourself in under 3 minutes with a $25 scanner from Amazon. When your dealer tells you they need to run a charging system test and quotes you a diagnostic fee, they are plugging in a scanner and reading data your car is already generating and storing. The specific parameters are live data, PID codes for battery voltage, alternator output voltage, and current draw. Any basic OBD2 scanner that reads live data will show you exactly what a $200 dealership diagnostic shows. The difference is the labor charge for the 10 minutes it takes their technician to plug in and read the screen. The hidden valet mode. Almost every luxury truck has, if you own a 2015 or newer F-150, Silverado, Ram 1500, or Tundra with a factory infotainment system, there is a high probability your truck has a speed limiter and geographic boundary function buried in the settings that dealers use during test drives and lot management. On the F-150, this is accessible through the My Key system. On the Silverado, it sits inside the Teen Driver settings menu. On the Ram, it is inside the Uconnect security settings. These menus let you set a maximum speed, disable certain audio functions, and in some configurations generate a driving report every time the vehicle is driven. Dealers use this on every new truck on their lot. They are supposed to clear it before delivery. Many do not. If your new truck felt slightly sluggish during the first few weeks of ownership, this is worth checking before you assume anything is wrong with the engine. The tire pressure threshold. Nobody tells you to adjust. Every vehicle with a TPMS system has a threshold setting that determines at what pressure level the warning light activates. From the factory, that threshold is set by the manufacturer to a single number that applies regardless of load, temperature, or use case. What most owners do not know is that on most GM, Ford, and Stellantis platforms, that threshold is adjustable through the instrument cluster menu or through a scan tool. If you regularly carry heavy loads or tow, running your tires at a higher pressure is correct and recommended, but the factory threshold will trigger a false warning if it is set below your loaded tire pressure. Independent mechanics routinely adjust this threshold during pre-purchase inspections. Dealerships charge for it as a separate service item. It takes 4 minutes. the transmission relearn procedure that fixes shift quality for free. This is one of the most valuable hidden procedures in the domestic truck world, and almost nobody outside of professional transmission shops knows it exists. Every modern automatic transmission with an electronically controlled valve body has an adaptive learning function. The transmission control module monitors your driving patterns over time and adjusts shift points, pressure, and timing to match your habits. When you buy a used truck, that adaptive data belongs to the previous owner. The transmission is shifting for someone else's driving style. When you take it to a dealer complaining about rough shifts or hunting between gears, they will often recommend a fluid service, or in worst cases suggest the transmission needs repair. Before spending $1, the correct first step is a transmission adaptive reset. On most GM platforms, this is done through a scan tool by clearing the transmission adaptive data and performing a specific relearn drive cycle. On Ford, it is accessible through the IDS software. On Ram, it is in the Stellantis dealer scan tool. The procedure costs nothing except the time to perform the drive cycle. The improvement in shift quality is often dramatic and immediate. The hidden tow/haul aggressiveness setting. Most truck owners know their vehicle has a tow/haul mode button. What most do not know is that on 2018 and newer GM trucks and 2019 and newer Ram 1500s, the tow/haul mode has multiple aggressiveness levels that are not documented in the owner's manual and are not accessible through the standard button. On the GM platform, these are buried inside the drive mode settings under a submenu labeled transmission settings. On the Ram, they sit inside the drive mode configuration screen accessible through the Uconnect display. The factory default tow/haul setting is calibrated conservatively to prevent warranty claims from owners who activate it incorrectly. The more aggressive settings hold gears longer, brake more assertively on downhill grades, and manage engine braking in a way that is genuinely more effective for heavy towing. Truck owners who find these settings report immediate improvement in towing confidence and control. The remote start, extended idle time. Nobody activates. If your truck has factory remote start, it is programmed from the factory to run for a default period before shutting off automatically. On most GM trucks, that default is 10 minutes. On Ford, it is 15. On Ram, it varies by configuration. What the manual does not prominently feature is that this idle time is adjustable through the infotainment system or through the manufacturer's connected vehicle app. On GM vehicles, the remote start runtime can be extended to a maximum of 20 minutes through the settings menu under Remote Link. On Ford, it is adjustable through the Ford Pass app under Vehicle Settings. In cold climates where extended warm-up time matters for both comfort and oil viscosity, this is a genuinely useful adjustment that costs nothing and takes 2 minutes to configure. Dealers will sometimes offer to enable this as a paid setup service during delivery. It is not a paid service. It is a menu option. The fuel octane calibration switch, hidden in your ECM. This one applies primarily to GM trucks with the 5.3 and 6.2 liter VK8 engines and Ford trucks with the 5.0 Coyote. The engine control module in these vehicles contains octane-specific calibration tables. The truck is tuned from the factory on the assumption that most owners will run regular 87 octane fuel, but the ECM contains a secondary calibration map optimized for premium 91 or 93 octane fuel that advances ignition timing, increases compression efficiency, and extracts additional power and torque from the same engine. On GM vehicles, this Secondary map activates partially and automatically when the knock sensors detect premium fuel, but it does not activate fully without a specific tune or calibration adjustment. Independent tuners access this routinely. The performance difference on a 6.2-liter engine running the premium calibration versus the regular calibration is measurable on a dyno and noticeable in real-world driving. Your dealer will sell you a performance calibration for $500 to $800. A reputable independent tuner will do the same thing for $300 to $400. The headlight aim adjustment. Every owner should know. Every vehicle has adjustable headlight aim. Every single one. The adjustment screws are accessible from inside the engine bay and require nothing more than a Phillips screwdriver and a flat wall to aim against. From the factory, headlights are aimed at a conservative angle that prioritizes not blinding oncoming traffic over actually illuminating the road ahead of you. This is a liability decision, not a safety decision. Properly aimed headlights that fully utilize the beam pattern of a modern projector or LED assembly dramatically improve nighttime visibility. The procedure takes 20 minutes and costs nothing. Your dealer will charge a diagnostic and alignment fee to perform this exact adjustment. The procedure is in your service manual. The screws are right there under the hood. These features and functions are inside your vehicle right now. You paid for them when you signed the purchase agreement. The only thing standing between you and using them is the fact that your manufacturer and your dealership would prefer you did not know they exist, because informed owners are harder to upsell. What hidden feature have you found in your vehicle that nobody told you about? Drop it in the comments because we are building the most complete list on YouTube. Hit subscribe if you believe you have the right to know everything your vehicle can do. We will see you in the next one.